No, no. Anyway, hey sweeties. So I have a quick kind of instant reaction review type thing of Starry Eyes. And before I get started, I just want to explain I'm was doing this because I'm kind of focused so much on getting written reviews done, which I haven't done in a long time. So I'm writing those now for film in Dublin, and then anything extra I do that's not like a new film will most likely be on my blog. Kind of quicker version of this to get me started. So obviously it'll get a little bit tidier as I go, but this is just to get me into it and get me to do something. So does it sound good to you? You not already turned off the video? So I decided this morning I'd watch Starry Eyes this evening while I was drawing. And it's not like I can escape it. It's sitting, like, my laptop is right next to me while I'm drawing on, like, over here. So it's I did not look away from the squeamish parts. I forgot this film is 2 years old, so I've been avoiding watching it for 2 years now. It was when it first came out, I was all pumped. Then I realised it was body horror, and that made me kind of squirmy, so I'm slowly building back up my gore chops, which sounds gross, which is intended, because I went through a period of not being able to watch a lot of horror films, which was very, very sad, because I couldn't stand the gore just at a certain point in my life. So I've worked very hard for a year watching things, getting hooked on Walking Dead. And I know Walking Dead isn't the worst, but in the early there was some nasty stuff. So yeah, I'm back at a point where I thought this would be a clever idea and move for me. Sorry, just making sure it's recording. I recorded on my what I thought would be my old reliable camera, and the sound was awful. So I'm recording this on my phone. So my webcam is currently out of my possession, so this is very get it done at the moment type thing. I do like body horror, but it just depends what's been done. I'm not used to seeing it on... I aren't used to seeing it done with women. I love when it's done with women only because generally women go through a lot more bodily things that can be utilised for horror than men do. So I think that's what adds to the squirmy. But I love this. It was like 8, 9 out of 10 on my scale. I don't have a like, you know, catchy phrase for that yet. It's just it's stars. Starry Eyes. So the film is about a young actress in, I believe she's in LA, because that's where you would be, who's working at a kind of version of Hooters, not quite happy to be there, not happy to not be getting callbacks. Her friend that she shares an apartment with kind of has this collection of friends, and she feels quite outside of them, and feels that she gets this kind of growing feeling throughout the film that they're not doing anything and they're not really trying that hard. They all want to be writers, directors, actors, so you know, there's a lot of not doing much when you're trying to do something creative. Look at me. So she ends up at this audition, and it's a bit weird. So we know it's weird, and we know we're watching a horror film, so quite early on we're like, don't, just leave. Don't go back to that, you know, don't do a callback, just leave it, it'll be fine, you'll find something. But obviously there'd be no film, so she does get a callback. And yeah, we know something's up. Mark Center, who I'd forgotten was in this, had a role as the one of the casting agents. And I love Mark Center, so I'm always happy when I see him in something, because he's not in everything, which would be weird if he was. So yeah, things start to get weird, and the whole film kind of follows this Faustian deal with the devil for her to basically sell her soul in order to make it big. It's the kind of basic thing of it. There is kind of this cult element. I can't remember their name right now. It begins with an A. It's a name of, I think, a Greek god of the stars, but it's basically their demonic cult. So yeah, she ends up signing up for this thing, this change. And even as the producer, the creepy pants zippy producer, he as he's kind of making her the offer, he says all these things that, like, asking her, would you be willing to do this, and would you be willing to give up this in order to make it? And she just says yeah. And because it's horror, I'm like, girl, ask him if he's being literal or if he's being, like, metaphorical and just kind of artsy. But we know he's being literal. Because bad things are going to happen. So the film's pacing is quite strange in a good way, though. The runtime is less than an hour and a half, like, just about. But it both feels kind of that length and also feels not a lot longer, but it feels like over an hour and a half. It doesn't drag. It's just the pacing is very strange. Like, she gets, like, the first audition within, like, the first 10 minutes of the film, so we already know something's kind of shifty. But things don't really start to kick off until kind of the third act. So you're just watching it the whole time, going, "Is someone gonna help? Will something stop this?" Because the body horror stuff kind of happens in the second act, and it's not pretty. It's very kind of on par. I haven't seen it, but I know the bits that happen to what bits. On par with, like, Contracted, which was again another body horror done to a woman. But that was like zombie STD, which was... Let's not talk about that. So this is more the kind of like the sacrifices you have to give for these things. But also I feel like I had another point, but I'll go off for ages. I don't think I have enough film on this. The point is, she doesn't appear to be a very good actress. So there's a whole thing about, like, those celebrities that you have to ask, why are they famous again? Like everyone on Big Brother Celebrity. But there's I think an aspect of that, and she is getting in the easy way, doing a very difficult thing, but still kind of getting in the easy way. Anyway, I could have gone longer, but I won't do that. So the film was, I didn't actually know it was, I think, kickstarted and heavily backed and supported by Chuck Palahniuk and Chuck Palahniuk's fan base, because one of the writer-director team, I can't remember which one, I think he runs the fan site for Chuck Palahniuk. The team is Kevin Kolsch and Dennis Widmeyer. I keep confusing all the letters. And they appear to be a team who most of their credits are together. I checked, and the only other thing I've seen them do is they did the Valentine's Day segment in Holidays, which was one of the strongest, I think, for me. I really enjoyed that. The film is kind of a lot of hits and misses. The hits are very good, and the misses are just, they're not awful. It's not like it's a film of, terrible shorts and then one good one. They're just kind of, meh, that's alright. Which was kind of sad for such a big anthology movie, because I love anthology films. But they did Valentine's Day, which also centered around a woman who was doing not very leading lady things. So I like these guys. Also, Chuck Palahniuk explains so much about this film, because towards the end it gets intense, and she does some stuff, that would make Negan proud. There you go. That's just slight spoiler. Not as emotional as Negan, but the effects. I could not find a proper just name for the team or the individual or whoever did the special effects of that film, but well done, good job. Because the actual body horror stuff was brilliant, and then the stuff that she inflicted was amazing. So, great work. Um, the cast were really, really good. They all really suited the roles. I only knew Noah Segan from Brick and Looper. He's also in Dead Girl, which I haven't seen yet because it makes me just a bit feel a bit gross reading the write up. But I'll see. It doesn't seem to be one of those films that's like it's a tough watch, but it's really worth it. So I don't know if it will be worth it to someday sit down to it. But and then Alex Esso plays Sarah, which is our, I don't want to say heroine, our lead, and she's brilliant. I haven't seen her in anything else. She seems, from what I could find, she does a lot of horror, which I'm obviously all on board with. So the actual team behind it were brilliant. The cinematography was beautiful. It kind of reminded me of a bit of Argento and kind of older horror. The same with the score was all synthy, and it was just, it really matched because it kind of had that like sort of old Hollywood, not old Hollywood, like 70s Hollywood vibe to it, as well as it just felt unnerving and wrong, but also really good. The same kind of thing like the Faustian thing where you're kind of drawn to, you shouldn't be. Like all synth music basically. But I love synth in horror. Was one thing I really loved about the It Follows soundtrack, and something else I seen recently that I can't remember. But if it comes to me, I will randomly shout it at you. I'm glad I finally watched it. It is definitely worth a watch. It's, if you like things like Rosemary's Baby, or Contracted, or even like American Mary, kind of really unapologetic physical violence, like both inflicted and violence upon your physicality. I definitely recommend it. It's making me think of Raw, which is coming out this year. It was screened at a horror festival we have here in Dublin at Halloween, but I didn't get a ticket to it, and I'm kind of glad because I don't think I'm gonna have to wait until it's on Netflix or Shudder. I can't watch it in a cinema. I have a strong feeling I won't be able to. It's just, oh, even the latest trailer, if you've seen it. What is she doing to that lady? Why is she between her legs with the sharp implement? No. Anyway, I love this stuff, but you know, it's kind of like when guys see that one scene in Stand By Me with the leeches. Love it though, real great, and I'm glad to see it being done, and especially this is Women in Horror Month, so I'm quite happy to give the team behind this a shout out for making a strong movie that is just pulls no punches and has a woman at the center of it, and then the short that they made for holidays, much the same kind of, here's just some stuff. We're gonna give you a main character that basically, because in Starry Eyes she's very hard to feel for. I kind of felt more for, like, a little bit for like Noah Segan's character and her roommate, and that's the kind of thing, like, you see the things that she's reacting to around her. Now obviously she's had this kind of the cult of talk where it's, you know, nobody thinks you're good enough and they're all kind of holding you back, but it's really sad because you see that they, you know, there's the obvious other bitchy aspiring actresses who try to make her, you know, try to undermine her. But sorry, my camera cut out and I think I only have like 2 minutes left on this. So anyway, that stuff is normal, the cattiness, but deep down they all really care about other people because they're humans. Overall, really enjoyed it. Glad I finally sat down to watch it. Not as disturbed and like messed up for the evening as I thought. yes, I'm very happy to see these kind of things, want to see more of these things. I don't really have a summing up point to this, but don't trust creepy old producers. And if you experience any of the things she experienced in this film, call your doctor. That's about it. That's probably the take home from that. So I'm hoping to have more of these. Let me know if you liked this. I will, obviously, when I have proper equipment back, I can do more in-depth talking about things rather than me like panickingly in a panic trying to give my thoughts before my storage runs out. Words are failing me and I have to write things. Yeah, I'll have more stuff up here at some point. Check out Film in Dublin. I will be having a review up this week of Resident Evil 6, and this month I also get to see Love Witch finally. Yay, Love Witch! So if you are interested in seeing what I thought about it, go check out Film in Dublin. I'll leave a link below for it, and yeah, there'll be links below for anywhere else you can follow me before I make another video. And happy Women in Horror Month!